What is up, everybody? My name is Albert. Welcome to my channel. Today is February 21st, and that means it is a bank holiday. So the markets are closed today. But yeah, what I did last week on Friday, Tesla stock price started dipping, and I had sold two extra puts here. So you can see the 780 put. Well, basically, it started going down. I had a sell order for the 800 put, so I sold the 800 put here. Got about $3,500. No, I got about $3,500 for that, and then it kept dipping. So then I sold another put at 780. I got about $3,700 for that, which is even better. And then luckily, towards the end of the day, it started going back up. So I'm a little bit up on these right now. And then I'm still holding this 975 put in March 18th. I have another month on this, so I'm gonna wait until at least a week or two before March 18th before I decide what to do. What will probably happen is I'm gonna roll it, so that means I'm gonna sell another put. Probably have to go out to May, and it'll probably be a lowest price point. But that premium I'll receive will be the same as the premium that it currently costs to buy it back, and then I'll have more time to not be wrong on this trade. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Currently for the month, nothing has changed. I'm still up to $9,000 for February, 40K overall since I started this channel, which is not bad. But I'm still behind on my goal to make 150K this year, which, like I said in the last video, I might scale that back. With the amount of money I'm using, I don't think it's smart to aim that high because then I'll have to take risks that I shouldn't be taking. That being said, before when I sold these puts, there was like news out that there wasn't gonna be a war, and then now all of a sudden there is gonna be a war. I don't know. So someone posted this earlier in a Facebook group I'm part of, and I thought it was interesting. So it looks like usually the dip always happens before the invasion. So if that happens in the near future, what would that? Except for Afghanistan, I guess. Afghanistan didn't do well. Afghanistan war, but like, it looks like the dip usually happens for the future. So what does that mean? I don't know. But right now, there's a lot of uncertainty, and typically what that means for the market is that stock prices are going to go down. So even, nothing related to Tesla, I think Tesla will probably see a dip tomorrow. So what I'll do is I'll probably try to, if I'm still positive in the morning, like right when the market opens, I'm still positive on these puts, I'll probably close them out and just wait, and then look for a lower reentry. But, that aside, I feel very confident about the 780, 800 puts. Like, these are, like, fantastic trades in my opinion. Like huge premium on pretty low strike price. It's just that I guess the whole macro environment things are happening, so I'm just gonna try to not gamble as much as possible. So if I can close these out, I will. If I can't, if I'm negative on this, maybe I'll just hold it and see what happens. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about in this video was I've been thinking a lot about selling puts and the pros and cons of using margin versus cash securing, right? And obviously there's some obvious like pros and cons. Using margin is riskier, etc., etc. But I've been leaning towards cash secured puts a lot more, and I'll go into my reasoning why. And just so everyone has some more context, I have 3 accounts that I've been posting about in this channel. I have my regular cash account, where I'm selling puts on margin, right? I have my retirement account number 1, where I've been selling a put credit spread. That's my regular IRA account. So I put $6,000 in. I've been using that $6,000 to sell a spread, and then I have my retirement account number 2, where I've been my Roth IRA, where I've been selling 100 shares and then using that cash to then do a cash secured put, right? And just for some context, I might make about 1K in the month where I did that put credit spread. It really depends on whether or not Tesla finishes above 850 by next Friday. And then the retirement account, I made about 5K so far doing this. I've only done it for 2 weeks. So what I'm finding here is a lot more lucrative to do this cash secured put and selling the 100 shares. So yeah, so spreads in the retirement account. I'll cover that real quick. I think this one is by far the weakest strategy, for me at least. And if you don't know, I'll explain. Selling a spread, what that is you're selling a put at a certain price point. At the same time, you're buying another put at the same date at a lower strike price, right? So for example, you sell a 900 put, you buy 800 put, right? And then the premium you collect for that 900 put is like more than the premium you're paying for the 800 put. So you're basically hedging your bet. You're hedging your bet versus selling a naked put. Like if stock price goes to 0, you're gonna lose all of it, right? Just so for some context, if this makes sense to you, like let's say for example I sold this put here. This is a naked put. I sold a 780 put for March 25th. So what this means is if March 25th comes around and the stock price is below 780, then I have to buy 100 shares of Tesla at $780. So I need $78,000 to secure this put, right? So what I'm doing right now is using margin, meaning that I don't have $78,000 in my account to sell this put, but what I do have is a lot more than $78,000 in Tesla shares. So that I'm using that to secure. I'm using that as margin to sell this put, and they let you do that, but it's risky because what if Tesla stock dips? The money I have in Tesla is going down at the same time. The margin required is going up, so it's risky. Okay, so that's what. So then what a spread is you're buying a put, so that doesn't happen. So let's say at 800, at 900, I start losing money, and then I buy a put for 800. Right below 800, I start breaking even because everything below 800, I make money on this put, I lose money on this put, I break even. So it creates a floor for you, right? So why I'm doing that in my retirement account is because you can't use margin in your retirement account in my IRA. I put $6,000 for 2022 IRA, and you can only sell a spread. So I sold like 850 and I bought at 790. So you know a $6,000 spread. So the maximum you can lose is $6,000, right? But so it's a lot less money you need, but you make less money, right? Because you're making maybe $1,000 from the premium, and then you're spending, I think in my case I made $2,000 from premium that I sold, and I had to pay $1,000 for premium that I bought, so I net $1,000 over the course of a month, which is really good, just in terms of cash, making $1,000 for off of $7,000 a month. But what happens if I'm wrong, right? If it goes lower, I can't really roll because I can't add money to this account, right? And then that lower leg, that let's say that I sold like a 790, that leg, that doesn't really matter because if it already dips below 850, I'm already kind of fucked, right? So it's not like if it dips below 790, then yeah, it helps me there, but like the chances of that happening are pretty low because I'm already going very low on my spread. So what that means is, I don't think this is a very like financially, I don't think it's a very lucrative way to make money, because if I just sold 100 shares and then I'm wrong, I can just hold 100 shares until it gets back up to normal. Versus here, if you're wrong, then you just lose that money. You can't add more money to that account. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So I'm gonna take this one out of the equation, and I'm just gonna analyze using margin versus using cash to secure puts. Okay, so when I first started this channel, when I started doing everything, I was like, oh my god, we should use margin because now I don't need to hold, X dollars, $100,000 or whatever, Tesla times 100 in my account to sell this put, right? So you get to quote unquote have your cake and eat it too. I get to keep my Tesla shares, I get to keep my money in Tesla. At the same time, I get to sell this put and benefit from that as well, right? That's kind of having your cake and eating it too, right? So I can benefit a double on the upside, right? The problem that I'm realizing is that because you don't have the cash to secure this put, you can't have it go in the money, right? That's a big thing that you can't happen. You can't kill in the money because you might get assigned. So in order to fight that, you have to sell a lower premium. So that's why I'm selling lower premiums, right? The price at 800, I sell a 700 put for next month, right? Which makes sense, right? Because I have to sell a lower premium in order to make up for that volatility, right? That also means I can't diamond hand it, right? So let's say, for example, I sold 800 put, stock price at 750. Like, what am I gonna do? I can risk it, but it creates a lot of extra stress for me to risk it, because what happens if it doesn't come back up? Then I gotta have $75,000 or $880,000 somewhere if I get assigned, right? So that creates a lot of extra risk for me. And then I need to. So then what's gonna happen is I'll probably roll it earlier than I would have if I had the cash to secure it, right? So those two things I think is the reason why cash secured puts are better, right? Number one, the premium you're collecting is less because you have to sell at a lower price point, a lower strike price, right? And then you can't diamond hand it because you can't wait you can't really gamble to see what happens because it's a lot of risk, right? And also obviously there's a huge downside risk. So think about this. Right now, today is February 21st. The stock price is at 850. Without looking at the option chain, I'm guessing if I sold a 1 month out price at, like, let's say at 800. Oh yeah, so if I sell 1 month out for 800, I'll make about $3,500, right? Give or take, $3,500, right? So I'm selling about 8-9% below premium, below the stock price, the strike price below the stock price, and I'm gonna collect about $3,000, $3,500 or so in the course of, let's say, 35 days. Okay. If I have the cash to secure put, you can actually sell an at the money put. Let's say I can sell, if the price is 850, I can sell 850 for next week, next Friday, and I can collect about $3,000, right? So within a month, I'm gonna collect about $3,000 versus a week I collect about $3,000, right? because I'm selling it at the money, right? My analysis on cash secured is like, obviously, yeah, you have to have a lot more cash. You have to have like 80 grand sitting there doing nothing, right? 85 grand, whatever it is. But you can hold it all the way through. So let's say by next Friday, the price has dipped down to, I sold 850 put, the price is now at 800. Well, and then it's Thursday. Well, I can just hold it. I'll hold it all the way to Friday, and then if it's still 800, I'll get it signed. I just bought 100 shares of Tesla at 850. I lost on paper $5,000, but I didn't really lose anything. I just got my shares back. So all I can do is I can just wait. I'll just wait until it goes back to 850. I just sell it at 850 again, right? So then I'm not getting pressured to make any sort of moves. Because I can just hold the stock. I can just get assigned. I can take that assignment, right? So yeah, the benefit is much less stressful, and the premiums are way higher. So like I said, you can sell a put for 7 days, and you can make $3,000 out of the money. Whereas if you're doing a month out, currently I'm taking me a month to make a $3,000. Now I can do it in a week, right? So instead of selling 4 puts over a month to make $12,000, I can just sell 1 put 4 times, in 1 month and make $12,000, and the risk is much lower. Will that always happen? No, because what the stock price dips, I gotta wait for it to come back up. But the stress will be so much less. The risk is so much less. The only downside of this I haven't really thought through is like the tax purposes, and I think tax will be the same, unless you have to sell like your first like sum of cash. You have to sell Tesla shares to use that cash, and then you have to pay tax on the gains you made there. So I think that's the only negative I have there. So yeah, I'm almost like 100% opposite of what I thought before, because before I was like, hey, if you use more margin, yeah, it's more risky, but the opportunity is higher. And just the fact that you're doing at the money, I think with cash secured, if you're doing at the money, then it's not actually, the premiums are actually higher. They're actually higher, not lower. So yeah, so I'm gonna start, because of this logic, I'm gonna start moving towards cash secured puts versus margin. I'll sell a lot less puts. So yeah, I hope this is helpful.